Are you feeling stuck creatively, or do you constantly feel the pressure to come up with something new or develop your own style? The truth is, great artists don't start from scratch. They build from what inspires them. 13 years ago, I first read a book that completely changed how I see my creative process. But when I reread it recently, I found even more insights to help me unlock my creativity. And today, in this video, I'm sharing the 5 biggest lessons to help you do the same. The book I'm talking about is Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. But honestly, all 3 of his books, including Show Your Work and Keep Going, are packed with inspiration and actionable advice. I like to think of them as the golden trio for creatives, and I recommend reading all of them, even rereading them multiple times. This time when I reread it, I added tabs and highlighted my favorite parts. I actually had the chance to meet Austin twice during various book tours when he came and visited the Bay Area, and he personally signed my books and added these fun little doodles. I believe I heard him mention either in his newsletter or on Instagram that he's working on his next book, so I'm excited to follow along and see how that evolves. I first read Steal Like an Artist when it was originally published in 2012, back when I was still in art school and just about to graduate. It had a huge impact on me then, but rereading it recently, I'm reminded of how relevant the lessons are today. So the first big lesson and key idea of this book is nothing is original. Creativity isn't about making something new from nothing. It's about remixing and transforming existing ideas. And a direct quote from the book, as the French writer André put it, everything that needs to be said has already been said. But since no one was listening, everything must be said again. I think that's a great reminder that nothing is original and can all benefit from hearing a new take, what your or my perspective is on any given idea. Instead of stressing on originality, focus on collecting various inspiration and making it your own. You are, in fact, a mashup of what you choose to let into your life. You are the sum of your influences. We are shaped and fashioned by what we love. The artist is a collector, but they only collect things they love. So what can you take from this idea? What's the big lesson here? Austin recommends the idea of creating your own swipe file. This can be either digital or analog. Maybe it's a folder on your computer or a specific folder of images on your phone, or you're doing this with a journal or notebook and physically writing things down. However you would like to do it, or both, is up to you. It could be anything, visual or a quote. Cut it out or screenshot it, capture it so that you can use it later to create your own ideas. The next big lesson is to follow your curiosity and collect your influences. Your creative voice is shaped by what you love. Study the artists, writers, and designers that inspire you, then go deeper by researching their influences. Austin encourages this idea of a creative lineage. So take an artist whose work you really admire, find who inspired them, research that, then find out who inspired them, and so on until you've created your own family tree. He encourages us to copy our heroes, but not to steal their specific style. Instead, we want to steal the thinking behind their style. We want to see the world as they see it. It's in emulating our heroes that we eventually find what we can uniquely bring into the world. A big reminder here is to create the work you want to see in the world. Write the story you want to read, draw the art you want to see, do the work you want to do. Something else I loved and comes later in the book is to write public fan letters. Austin says, the best way to get approval is not to need it. So I recommend public fan letters. Write a blog post about someone's work that you admire and link to their site. Make something and dedicate it to your hero. Answer a question they've asked. Solve a problem for them, or improve on their work and share it online. The important thing is that you show your appreciation and not expect a response. And who knows, maybe an opportunity might come from it. The third key lesson And this might sound obvious, but it's to do the work. Creativity comes through consistent, continuous action. Don't wait to become the artist, designer, or photographer you want to be. Start doing the thing, and over time, you will become the thing. And the more you create, the more ideas will come to you. So many novice creators obsess over the idea of coming up with their style or understanding their place in the creative world. But it's in the act of making things and doing our work that we figure out who we are. The action here is to set up a daily creative habit. It could be 10 to 15 minutes, whatever you can fit into your day. Austin recommends using a calendar for this, and your job every day becomes focusing on filling that box. Once you've filled several boxes in a row, you make a chain, and then your job is not to break the chain. Keep going, keep creating. I cannot stress the importance of having a structured routine for your creativity. This is actually something I've mentioned in a previous video about how I balance creating art with working full-time. We're always under this false impression that if we have more time, we'll create more, when actually it's the opposite. Create a structured routine for yourself between work, family, and just maintaining your health. Find dedicated pockets of time to dedicate to your art and creative projects. Austin also talks about side projects and hobbies. Oftentimes, it's the side projects that lead to breakthroughs. Practice productive procrastination. Have multiple projects going on at once so that when you start to feel a little stuck on one of them, you can bounce over to another one and then bounce back when ideas come about for the other one. He also recommends that we embrace boredom. Creative people need time to just sit around and do nothing. I get some of my best ideas when I'm bored. If you're out of ideas, wash the dishes. Take a really long walk. Stare at a spot on the wall for as long as you can. As the artist Myra Coleman says, avoiding work is the way to focus my mind. Take time to mess around, get lost, wander. You never know what it's going to lead to. I feel like in this modern world today, we're always keeping our minds busy. We're always doing something, multitasking. But it's in these silent moments that ideas come from us. And this was a good reminder for me to allow myself to sit in silence and just think and not be distracted. So many times I have to have something going on in the background, but that doesn't always lead to the best creative output. So this is a reminder to allow yourself to be bored and embrace those moments. The fourth key lesson is to use your hands. Return to analog. Austin actually has his own personal office divided into two sections. One is analog and digital. It wasn't until I started bringing analog tools back into my process that making things became fun again and my work started to improve. Here's a photo of his analog and digital office space split. There was a lot of great points in this section, and it reminded me to rethink my creative process. So many times we're attached to the computer or other digital tools, but what we don't realize is those digital tools are not great for coming up with ideas. They're great for editing, finishing, and publishing our ideas into the world, but not for creating them. So he inspires us to get back to analog processes. Start with sketching, brainstorming, ripping things up, cutting things out, pasting things together. Be very physical. Don't just use your mind, but actually use your body to create ideas. Then, when you're ready to edit or put them into the world, then you would go into the digital space and create those for production. I loved how at the end of the book he has this deleted scenes section. I thought it was fascinating to see how he used index cards to create the content for this book. That's how he came up with the sections. He wrote them down, moved them around, and that's how this book evolved. This inspired me to think, how else could I approach a new project with something as simple as index cards or post-it notes? Really get back to analog roots to create ideas. The fifth and final lesson, the secret: do good work and share it with people, which actually the share part leads into his second book, where he shares a lot more about that. So the first step is creating good work, showing up every day and making the work you want to see in the world. But part 2 of that is sharing it. Putting your work out there helps you grow, connect with like-minded individuals, and gain confidence in your work. Very early on, Austin started sharing his work online. He also did this with Blackout Poetry, sharing the process on his website. Find people on the internet who love the same things as you and connect with them. Share things with them. Show just a little bit of what you're working on. Share a little glimpse of your process. Think about what you have to share that could be of some value to people. Share a handy tip you've discovered while working, or a link to an interesting article. Mention a good book you're reading. I think back to the first time I read this book 13 years ago, and this was actually a novel concept for the time. People weren't as into sharing their creative process as they are now. People were worried about giving away their secrets because maybe someone might copy them. But now, with the way that social media has exploded over more than a decade, that's no longer the case. People share things all the time. But the key here is to share more about your work, the creative process, the behind the scenes. That's actually why I started this YouTube channel. I love getting a glimpse into other designers, artists, creators' creative process, and I want to share and do the same. Honestly, there's an endless amount of ideas out there, no matter what it is you create. If you're an illustrator, show some of those beginning thumbnail sketches, the ones that you might feel a little embarrassed to share. Show what it looks like when you take those sketches and move them into a digital process on an iPad or a tablet on the computer. Share how you choose your colors, how do you shade and add shadow, or even just how you come up with the ideas of the things that you want to draw. Whatever it is, there's so many possibilities of things that you can share. I myself love to see this, and it's my mission to continue to do the same here on this YouTube channel. So if there's ever anything that you're curious to learn more about in my creative process, just leave a question in the comments and I'll take note and share it in a future video. Creativity isn't about being first. It's about being you. The best artists take inspiration, remix it, and add their own twist. So just as the title of the book is, don't be afraid to steal like an artist. Just do it with intention, curiosity, and passion. Which of the 5 lessons I shared resonated with you the most? Have you read any of Austin Kleon's books? If so, let me know your favorite in the comments below. And if you're curious to know more about Austin's work, one of the things he was known for early on was Blackout Poetry. If you're curious what that is and want to know how to create it for yourself, I've actually created a video on how I create Blackout Poetry. So check out that video next.